Brian Palavaro on Far here with Angela Shartel before the 2014 Sean O'Brien 50 mile. How you doing, Angela?
I'm doing well. How about you?
All right. You had a quick trip up from San Diego today.
We did, about 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, but you've raced all over, especially all over California.
I've done a lot of racing.
You have raced even in this area, Leona Divide, Ray Miller, and had good success here.
Yeah, it was a good run. Great course.
I guess in 2012 you were around 4th and 5th at those two races, correct?
I'm going to take your word for it.
All right, and so you've had success in this sort of train. I guess, is it similar to what you train on down in San Diego?
Leona Divide and Ray Miller were, when we came out to preview the Sean O'Brien course, is a lot more fire road than what we train on. So, but beautiful views, great climbing, and we do a lot of that down in our local mountains. So.
Yeah, so maybe a little faster train than you're used to.
Definitely.
But you're used to the climbing for
Used
sure.
to the climbing.
I mean, when I think of you, I think of a lot of strength. Really, you do awesome at 100 milers as well. Is this sort of different going to a faster 50? I mean, there's still a lot of climb, but...
I mean, 100 milers are definitely my love, and I think where my greatest strengths lie. But I enjoy 50 milers. It's different. The course is set up different. It's faster than my strengths are.
And you have had great success. I mean, 2 years ago, you were second at Angeles Crest. You won last year, broke Suzanne Bond's record, right? Yeah, had a pretty good run.
It did.
Last July.
You know, I had a lot of trying races. I experienced a lot of difficulties in Ray Miller, Leona Divide, and Angeles Crest in 2012. So it's been nice to kind of learn about my running and learn what my strengths are and play to my strengths and heal my body. You know, here in California, it's a blessing and a curse that we can run all year. So we take full advantage of that, and sometimes to our own detriment. So
what did you find your strengths were?
Climbing, definitely. Climbing, I like technical. The more variables, the better I seem to come out.
Throwing a little heat, you wouldn't mind that?
Heat, rain, mud, technical, rocky climbing. I prefer those courses.
So a perfect day in Malibu might not be...
Yeah, it's not ideal for me, but...
You'll have fun out there.
But you know what? It's all running.
Yeah.
I love running, so...
Speaking of which, how long have you been running?
I've been running about 8 years, I want to say. 3 years rather on the road, and then I'm coming into my 5th year in ultras.
What drew you into ultras?
The lack of fanfare.
Yeah? Here you are.
right, ironically. You know, I didn't like the roads. I didn't like all of the stimulation, cheering crowds and all of that. And so a friend introduced me to the trails, and it just became like the place that I'd always wanted to be. I fell in love relatively quickly. About a 2-week span. In the beginning, she told me to give it a month because the first time I went into our local trails, I was cursing the rocks and I couldn't get a rhythm, and I didn't enjoy it at all. But then once you learn to embrace all of those different elements, then it really became enjoyable for me, and I found myself escaping and appreciating everything the mountains had to offer, and haven't been back to the road.
So even there's a relative amount of fanfare at a race like this, you still have a lot of alone time out there.
You do.
Or with just a one runner.
Absolutely. I mean, even with all of the cheering at the aid stations, it's not like cheering all along a course. There's time to get lost in yourself, and that's what I like. I like the struggles and finding out what you're made of. And
do you like a little bit of cheering at the aid stations? Is that a pick-me-up for you, or do you just want to get out of there?
You know what? I appreciate it. I'm absolutely thankful for all the volunteers and their tireless efforts. I love seeing the enthusiasm, and I love being on the end of that when I'm not racing. So definitely I enjoy seeing them, the friendly faces cheering, especially if you've had a particularly rough patch. They do lift you up and give you kind of the extra energy and push that you may need for the next section.
Well, you have a real good group of people to give you a lift on a regular basis. The San Diego running community, I know a bunch of the members down there, and it's a really good crew. Like, how's that played into your love of the sport?
It's developed my love of the sport, and I think that I owe most, if not all, of my running knowledge and ability to them sharing. You know, I was very fortunate to my first 50 miler, I came up on Tracy Moore, and he was the one who first reached out to me and, hey, how you doing? Have you ever done this before? And I'm thinking, okay, mental note, fall behind him because you might be a little fast right now. And afterwards we started talking, and then he connected me with Scott Mills, Tom Nielsen, Ben Hyen. Those are my mentors in the sport, and I look up to them and just cherish their friendships, and I'm humbled as a runner to see what they've done.
Yeah. Me too. Like, literally, Scotty and Tommy would be two people I put there on my own personal.
Right.
When I was back in Virginia, they were.
Yeah, and they've been kind to share all of their knowledge with me, and help me at the with the highs and the lows, and they've been a critical part of my running.
Well, tomorrow is a big day. It's a competitive race. You're out there. Do you have any goals in particular?
As far as time?
Or time or whatever.
I would like to finish respectively. Yeah. Other than that, there is a lot of competition, and I don't really know what the day's going to bring. I don't know what the weather's going to bring. So my plan is to basically go out there and, run.
See what you can do.
Run. Take the highs and lows with as much grace as I can, and take it easy on the downhills. They're not my strength, and push the uphills.
All right.
Hope everything turns out good.
Well, best of luck out there, Angela. It's great talking to you.
It was great talking to you too.